Well, hello there. Another day, another week. So as we progress in this journey of growing things together, we will start talking about things which are needed. So a few episodes ago, we did an episode about hoops, which was to cover the plants during the cold, protect from animals and protect from birds. Now we are a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks into it. The plants have started growing. Now we need trellises. So we'll rejig whatever we did those few months ago, and I'll put the link in the description so you can go and watch how we did the hoops. So we'll rejig the same design and add some kind of trellis. The concept of this trellis, I've been going back and forth. I really wanted to do what's called cattle fencing. The problem is it's cheap. It does a wonderful job. It looks nice also. The problem is there's no shop around me which sells it, and I don't have a way of transportation to bring it home. It's 16 feet long. So I've been going back and forth what to do. So in the last few days, when I could not sleep at night, which happens, I came up with a new design. I've never done this before. I'll do it, and we'll see that if it's successful or not. What I'm about to use in terms of tools, and the whole thing of the design was it has to use least amount of tools. And a friend of mine who helps me a lot, and I discussed projects with him, he's much better than what I am when it comes to doing things with hands, like more like building and stuff. And we went back and forth, and he kept on telling me, okay, you can use this tool, and I said no. So we argued for half an hour. In the end, I won, which was a big success for me. The reason being, he's far better in construction than I am. So the design is simple. About to use a drill machine, a hammer, and scissors. Then in terms of the supporting material we're using two kinds of PVC pipes, or two sizes actually, not two kinds, 3/4 and half, and you'll see why it will be that way. Then we'll use some of these connectors to connect, and then I also have what's called, whatever it's called, that I can use to tie things down. My design is still open, so I did buy some extra things. So depending on my design, I might go with the connector route, or I might go with screwing those metal things in the wood. For the wood, I have a 5/4 by 3 spruce, and it was a 16-footer. So I asked them to cut it equal sizes, so 5.5 foot kind of a thing, 5.4ish, right? I will do that in my raised gardens that you have seen over a period of time if you've been following me. My hope is to put that in for a foot and a half, tie it with where the hoops were to get the strength. I'll do a weave, and I'll show you how to do it with this twine for the plants to grow up. So that's the first bit of it. My second bit will be, I'll almost make, you call it a roof or whatever, but it's not a roof, but a structure on top with the PVC piping. So that eventually when some of the growing vines, example would be cucumbers, some kind of squashes, loofah squashes, many other squashes I grow. They will grow very nicely, and they will fall down, and it will look beautiful. This bed is 30 inches tall with 5.5, roughly speaking, and shoving 1.5 in there. We'll have a structure of roughly 6 foot tall, I'm guessing, like plus minus here and there. And I think it will be good. The good thing about this structure will be when winter comes, I can take it down. So I'll start working on it. You and I will meet again by the time I've done some of the work already. So let's meet in a little bit. So I want to see what I'm doing. So I did these sticks and I then tied with the zip ties just to have some strength. And if I have an issue later, I can always reinforce it. There are other things. So now what I'm doing is I'm going around like this, and I'll show you the final product. It's a very simple weave that I learned very recently. Because of those 3 inches of this wood, I got 3 inches here. So these are my pea plants right now. This is all I need to do. It will start catching up automatically. So let me do one of them. And as I'm doing it, when I was discussing this structure with my friend, and well, I'll use my friend, but he's not Bob. So he's not my friend Bob. I don't have too many Bob friends. I only have one Bob friend. Let's call this friend of mine, let's come up with a name. Let's call him Doug. Okay, so this friend Doug, and I've told you that he is very good with construction. He understands things very well. Our conversation even got into torque and pressures and things like that. And if wind happens and this happens, it almost became a science class from the 8th grade. And so we kept on going back and forth. In the end, my design won. And I'll show you the design as I go further, but right now I just want you to see what I'm trying to do. So turn around, go back here, same height. You don't cut anything. Go twice, 3 times, it's up to you. Twine, doing twine makes a difference. Good thing with twine is, you know what? Winter comes, you can cut the twine and compost it. If I have used nylon, what would have happened? Then it becomes another issue that, okay, I've used plastic. So twine is a good answer. I think it will be able to take the weight off the plants I'm trying to grow over here. So that's not about to be an issue. Okay, so let me still show you. Right now you need to see this more than my face. And since I'm the only one who is doing that right now, I cannot hold the camera and do this at the same time. So I come here, 1 time, very good, Maya, 2 times. If you want more, you can do that. So you see over here, I use a twine to go around, and as I showed you earlier, that over here there's nothing yet, but peas and beans will grow over here. They'll automatically, once it grows and it holds, it'll keep on holding. So I don't even have to train it. So that's the simplicity of this design. And I have to give credit. I did not come up with this design. I follow other people also. I try to learn, and if I'm not learning, then I should, I'm not doing anything. And I will give a shout out. Go check his channel out, MI Gardener. He's a professional gardener, and in one of his videos he showed how to do this. And once I did it, I'm like, why? How come I did not know this for all these years? The structure is a bit rickety right now, but it's not done yet. And this is what I want to discuss. And the whole thing with the friend Doug, he was right that gravity will take over if things are not constructed properly, especially over here. Comes fall, even late summer, we do start getting a lot of breeze or winds, actually, not breeze. My concern is not there. A couple of reasons. I got trees on this side, I got trees on that side. So if the trees are coming down, then whatever structure I would have had here would have come down anyway. So I'm saved that way. The other one is that the other part which I'm about to do, which let's call it the roof, and the word is roof is incorrect. When I'll put my PVC pipes, some of these, when I put them in, they're not straight. So if I'll show you before I start putting the PVC pipes, that if you look from far, they don't look straight. What PVC pipe will do, when I'll put those clamps on it, I'll make sure that everything stays at where I want it to be. So now what's happening in terms of Forces and gravity. Gravity surely down here, forces. Whatever forces are happening because of the zip ties, whatever forces, which is not too much happening from here. Once the plants happen, the weight of that, whatever that will do. And whatever I will do with the PVC pipes on top, I think it will create good enough structure that for the 4 or 6 months of summer and then even into fall, it will be all good. We will know. We'll learn from our mistakes. Always say, let's learn from our mistakes. And that's why I ask all of you to subscribe, like, and talk with me, because I want to learn from you as when you're looking at me and you're learning from me, because that's how a human community grows. So let me start putting the PVC pipes together, and then I'll come back. So a couple of hours gone. I think I have a decent structure going on now. I'll show it to you. But before I show it to you, I did send a picture to, remember the friend I was talking about, Doug? And we said, let's call him Doug. I sent it to him and he liked it. His issue was that he thought that it would be a few inches taller. That's fine, that's not a big deal. But before I show you the structure, let's talk about something else. Doug is a real person. His name is Doug. It was just a joke that I started that way. So I hope when Doug sees this episode, he smiles about it. So as I stand up and we see the structure, in this structure, as I was alluding to earlier, that I made a point not to cut anything. The PVC pipes are 10 feet each. I used it 10 feet. This was cut at the lumber store. I told you earlier they're 16 feet lumber spruce. They cut it for 5.4 inches each, 5.4 feet each. I shoved whatever. If you look over here, when I walk underneath it, I'm guessing this is roughly around 6 feet. It will be a bit cumbersome when, let's say, fruits, vegetables are hanging, but you know what? That's the fun of it. I did, peas had already started over there, so they're already going through. There are more peas which are going through this one. This one has nothing right now. Hopefully this weekend I'll get some cucumbers. So the idea is, as I showed you earlier, that the 3-inch is giving me a space of 3 inch between each twine. And once you put the plant in it or the vine in it, it should automatically start moving with it. The other thing about this plan was not to use those many tools. Surely I used a drill for all the screws. Had to use hammer once, and I had to use for this one. And it's still not straight because I think there's something underneath over here that is stopping it. All the other one just went straight with my hands. And again, if you go in the description and you look at the episode about the hoops, it's the same logic. So since I've moved some plants, all I need to do from here is go and water them, because anytime you move any plants, they can go through shock. So you have to water them. And first time, just water them enough. From here, I think I'll say goodbye. But before I do, subscribe, like, and do all the good things. Thank you so much.